Welcome to The Source, where we combine the headlines with in-depth conversations with the newsmakers themselves. Today on the program, human rights or special rights?
Babae, lalaki, sa tumboy, sa bakla. Ano ba problema dyan?
4 CR, sir.
The president showing his support for an anti-discrimination bill, but Malacañang clarifies it is not the SOGIE Equality bill.
Anti-discrimination law sa Davao, it refers to all. You cannot discriminate on handicap, special children, yung merong third gender, sa lahat.
Also addressing corruption at the Bureau of Corrections.
The expectation is we want the truth on the matter in the Bureau to come out.
And deliberations on the 2020 national budget continue. But will it be pork-free? Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza joins us live. Thank you for joining us. Sitting in for Pinky Web, I'm Ina Andulong. President Rodrigo Duterte is in full support of a bill fighting all forms of discrimination. But Malacañang insists that this is not the Sexual Orientation, Gender Identity and Expression or SOGIE Equality bill. Also, lawmakers scrutinizing the Good Conduct Time Allowance law, which revealed rampant corruption at the Bureau of Corrections. And later, the status of the 2020 national budget. Is it pork barrel free? Let's go straight to the source of the story. Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza. Hi, sir, and thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Let's start off, sir, with the SOGIE bill. President Duterte saying he wants a different type of anti-discrimination bill, apparently not the SOGIE
Yes,
bill.
we welcome his clarification because earlier it was perceived when he said he was for the SOGIE bill. Akala ng mga marami, yun yung SOGIE pending. Pero ibig niya sabihin pala, he is for anti-discriminatory measures, a law that will prevent discrimination against the members of the LGBT. I am with him on that. I agree also that we should not discriminate against members of the LGBT. They should have the freedom and the right to practice whatever they would want with their lives. Pero yung SOGIE bill is a totally different issue. Because it discriminates against the majority of our people, imposing on them what they cannot accept.
Let's play first a soundbite of presidential spokesman Sal Panelo explaining the anti-discrimination bill sought by the president.
He was referring, in fact, he said, I have that, we have that in Davao. So he was really specifically referring to that anti-discrimination law in Davao.
Okay, you're saying he's supporting a different anti-discrimination measure. What is that?
General, siguro. Pareho nung sa kanila kasi yung anti-discrimination law sa Davao, it refers to all. You cannot discriminate on handicap, special children, yung merong third gender, sa lahat. Hindi ka pa pwedeng mag-legislate for a particular class lang. You know, di-discriminate ka.
You mean, are you referring to the LGBT community?
Yes. Dapat talagang general.
Okay. Sir, but...
Yun ang ayaw ni Presidente kasi, pag nagdi-discriminate ka against a particular class.
Okay. You agree with that, sir?
Yes, anti-discrimination, we are all one. Pero yung promoting the side of the LGBT, to use common toilets, common showers, allowing the women to go into seminaries, men going into convents, to remove the gender identification totally unacceptable.
Yan yung isa sa fears ninyo, kumbaga, sir, sa SOGIE.
Hindi fear
bill
yan. Nakalagay yan doon sa kanilang proposed law. In fact, before all of this started...
What are your, kumbaga, sir, biggest concerns regarding the SOGIE
yung
bill?
same-sex marriage, which was initially the agenda of this bill. But we saw it through. Nakita namin nakatago rin sa isang provision na no license can be deprived. Tinanong ko in the interpellation, when you say this, do you mean including marriage licenses? And the sponsor said yes. Therefore, we are against that.
So you do not agree with, of course, some authors of the SOGIE bill saying na hindi naman daw ito magpapave the way for same-sex marriage?
No, it will. That is their intention. Kaya we have to define each and every phrase, each and every word, each and every comma, because marami nakatago eh. If it's just plain and simply anti-discrimination, then I don't think we will have any objection to that. We don't want any of the Filipinos being discriminated against, but we are against the minority in the country imposing on what they would want. Yun ang mali. Same-sex marriage is totally unacceptable.
We'll put up a statement from Senator Risa Ontiveros. She says the SOGIE Equality Bill does not only define and prohibit discrimination, it also addresses stigma against persons with diverse SOGIE through programs promoting equality and diversity. This protective mechanism is unique to LGBTs who experience not only discrimination but also stigma.
Very
What
broad,
one point she's
very
saying,
broad and very general statements. Be specific, Senator.
ang isa sa sinasabi ni Senator Ontiveros is that there's a stigma against the LGBT community, reason perhaps why there should be a bill that could help them.
I think it's going about the issue. If it's anti-discrimination, anti-discrimination. The stigma will have to be removed eventually by the person himself. If he feels discriminated against, he can sue. But as time goes, he will realize there's no more discrimination in our society, then wala nang kailangan pang itagong provision. Wala na yung mga broad provision on same comfort room. Look at that security guard who suffered simply because she did what is she supposed to do. Do not allow a man...
The janitress, you mean, sir?
Huh?
The janitress, right?
Yeah. Do not allow a man inside the ladies' room. O ano, they raise tells. Kawawa naman yung tao. Amuntik na nawala ng trabaho.
Sir, I do remember, I read a report saying that you were offering help dito sa
Yes.
janitress. Ito, is there any update on that? What happened?
Yes, we were able to meet already and I assured her, kung ikaw aalis din sa trabaho, ikaw bibigyan ko ng trabaho sa opisina ko because I would want people like you doing their job using their common sense. Yung lalaki, pumasok sa ladies' room, hindi mo pinayagan, very good. At saka hindi naman she didn't just act on her own.
Did she take up on your offer? Did she accept your offer?
No, not yet.
Hindi
Sabi
pa.
naman niya, in fairness to the management of the security company that she belongs to, hindi naman siya inaalis daw sa trabaho. Pinagpapahinga lang siya ng konti. Siguro pinapalamig yung issue. Dahil marami rin siya na na nakuha. Alam mo, very violent-oriented yung marami dyan sa mga nagpo-promote ng kanilang cause. Maraming mga messages sa kanyang cellphone na talagang, siyempre, ikinababahala ng pamilya niya. At pati na ng kumpanya, nabibilangan niya.
So what do you
sabi
mean, violent-oriented? Sabi niyo.
Look at what they did to her. She almost got beaten up inside by the transgender or whatever, by the man who was dressed as a woman. Kaya pag yung batas na yan, ay pinasa natin yung SOGIE bill at payagan ng mga babae sa ladies room, lalaki sa babae sa men's room, lalaki sa ladies room, we will have chaos. How do you prevent a man dressing as a woman, wearing a wig, or maybe even a natural long hair, but actually, lalaki siya? Eh, ngayon nga hindi nagagawa yan. Marami ng mga kalokohan sa mga CR, public CR.
President-
Payagan mo pa yan, eh, magtatago lang yan dun. Akala ng iba, babae, pero yung pala lalaki. Eh, nakita siyang lalaki siya.
President Duterte, sir, is supportive apparently of having a separate restroom for members of the LGBT community. Is
Okay
that
din yun.
something?
Okay din yun. But araw naman ng LGBT yun. Discriminatory daw yun. Oh, that is what we are actually cannot possibly get together. Anything that you provide them, sasabihin nila, you're discriminating against us. No, you're asking for it. We're providing it in the law. Ako na nagsabi, gusto nyo yung PWD CR, yun ang gamitin nyo para wala tayong issue. Dahil hindi naman kayo pwede magsama-sama ron eh. One by one ang pasok dun eh. Ang masama kasi magsama yung lalaki sa babae, tapos nagpapanggap lang yung lalaki o yung babae nagpapanggap. And
You're saying, sir, the SOGIE bill could lead to some, violent
confusion, opportunism, and eventually violation of rights. Even rapes could happen there. Children go to the CR on their own. What if a man is there and yun lang hinihintay niya, may pumasok na batang babae. Nakasuot babae rin siya, pero lalaki siya.
Okay.
So why would we even expose ourselves to such untenable conditions?
But of course, the SOGIE bill is beyond the issue of restrooms. Some are saying that special rights, are we giving special rights to them by, if ever, supporting the SOGIE bill? Is that something you also...
First of all, let's change the name already. Kasi they intend to remove the gender identification. You cannot do that. Yung babae, babae. Yung lalaki, lalaki. If you legislate the removal of the gender identification, you cannot succeed because you cannot go against natural law. Everyone is born either a male or a female. Gusto nila sa record, wala na raw yung sex male. Sa kapanganakan, alisin mo sa birth certificate. Hindi pwede. Yung birth certificate should be faithful to reality. You're either born a male or a female. Hindi pwedeng it. Hindi pwedeng I don't know.
No,
or
this-
sometimes.
This reminds me about the exchange between Senate President Tito Soto and I don't know if you're aware of this, yung kay Vice Ganda. Vice Ganda saying na, being a woman is not dictated by your capability or ability to give birth, or having ovaries.
No, I will have to disagree with my good friend, Vice Ganda. A woman gives birth. A man does not. Yun ang diferensya.
Paano nga naman daw po ang kanyang argument? There are women who cannot give birth because of medical issues.
Well,
Some opt not to
Well,
for
she
personal
remains a
reasons.
woman. We will not call him a man simply because she cannot give birth. But you cannot call him any other identification of her gender. If she's a woman, she's a woman. She wants to be a man, that's her right. But I'd still call her a woman. Like, for instance, Vice, my good friend. She's a very good friend of mine.
Okay.
But I cannot agree with her on that. You cannot legislate.
But you're even referring to her as her, no? You're referring to Vice Ganda as her.
Yes. I know. But that's what she wants. So I'll call her her.
Okay.
Oh, it will make her happy, no? If I call her he, magagalit sa akin yun. So, okay lang sa akin tawagin siyang her. That's what she wants. Like, for instance, Congresswoman Roman. She wants to be identified as a congresswoman. That's her right. But my point is, we cannot
Pero
go...
in
we
your
can-
mind, they're
we-
still not women.
Yeah, because we cannot go against natural law. There are only two sexes that God gave us. You're either a male or a female. You want to be staying in the middle? That's your prerogative.
Okay, we'll be taking a short break first. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza. Now, before we leave the issue or the topic of the SOGIE bill, ano ba talaga, sir, ang status nito ngayon? There's a big debate about it.
We have
but
many things that we are tackling which are more important than that issue. So, priority-wise, medyo nasa likod ngayon yan. As far as the lower house is concerned, we're tackling the budget, we're tackling tax reform laws, we're tackling many other issues which are more relevant to the country's needs today. And the SOGIE
and with
bill
the
is not
president's
even mentioned.
pronouncement, do you think that will further make it not a priority?
Yes, if at all, many proposals will come in, I'm sure now, which will tackle only anti-discriminatory practices. Because that's what the president said. He wants an anti-discrimination bill passed. I will support that. We must protect the
Yung
right.
sense of urgency for that type of measure, sir?
But I wouldn't consider it.
Kasi you were saying, no, ang dami pang ibang
ang
priorities.
dami mas importante.
But how important is it to have it as soon as
Compared to
possible?
the economy, compared to the salaries of our people, compared to the prices of prime commodities, I would consider it, I'll put it behind. Because ang importante ngayon, yung presyo ng bilihin, tumataas. Yung problema ng baboy, the African swine flu is a problem. Dengue is a problem. Leptospirosis is a problem. So marami tayong problema. If we debate on something which will really be contentious, hindi tayo magkakatulungan. We need unity in the lawmaking body. reformahin natin ang criminal justice system, itigil yung corruption sa Bucor. Marami tayong pwedeng talagang pukpukin as one, united.
Okay, moving on, you just mentioned Bucor. Let's talk about the good conduct time allowance law. Still a hot topic. This has prompted renewed calls from some lawmakers, sir, on the importance of the death penalty, which you are against. You're pro-life. Ano ang position mo to some lawmakers saying na kung na death penalty kasi itong mga, let's say, heinous crime convicts, we would not be in this situation?
It's the other way around. I look at this particular corruption issue in the Bucor, the latest scandals hitting all of us, is my best argument against the death penalty.
How? How so?
Because if we have a corrupt criminal justice system as being exposed today, ang masisilya elektrika o mapapatay lang na mga kriminal, mahihirap. Kung mayaman ka, you'll just spend a little time and then they'll find a way of releasing you because we are corrupt. So the issue is therefore the certainty of punishment. If you have 7 life sentences, you should never be able to go out anymore. But one who has a 7 life sentence was due to be released last August 20. O, yun ang sinasabi ko. My best argument against the death penalty being an anti-poor, pro-rich measure and pro-corruption because if there is a death penalty, ang hihingin sa'yo sa simula pa ng problema mo sa pulis, mas malaki. Sa piskal, mas malaki. Dahil corrupt, ha? Sa judge, mas malaki. Sa Bucor, pag nakulong ka na, doon special ka pag may pera ka. Hindi ka mabibitay.
Senator Bato de la Rosa, I want to get your thoughts on this, saying the death penalty cures everything.
I'm sorry, Mr. Senator, but I have to laugh with that statement. Death penalty cures everything. You came from the Bucor. You should know what you're talking about.
Okay, now let's play a soundbite from Senator Bongo. This time, he's suggesting the type, ito yung sinagot niya when asked what type of a leader should be assigned next dito sa Bureau of Corrections.
Gusto niyo malaman sino gusto ko i-recommend sa loob ng Bucor? Killer. Basta ako nire-recommend ko kay Pangulo na dapat mamuno dyan sa Bucor. Killer.
Okay, now, you know, we don't know how, obviously, there's a hint of sarcasm there. What do you think about that?
Did the senator say kill?
Killer.
Killer.
A killer daw po ang i-recommend.
Palagi ko, the senator is talking out of frustration, exasperation. I don't blame him. You know, we have a good senator in Senator Go. But for him to say that, talagang medyo puno na yung pasyensya niya.
So what type of leader, kayo naman, for you, should be assigned next to Bucor?
Incorruptible, if we can find
I mean,
one.
we had Senator...
Because the problem there is corruption.
We had Senator Bato de la Rosa there, Nicanor Faeldon. Ano na dapat ba ang sunod for you?
To me, the president should find somebody outside of the cycle of corruption. PNP, military, judiciary. Let's get somebody who has been proven to be upright and very strong foundation on anti-corrupt practices and stainless, or rather...
Yun yung gusto ninyo, sir, from the police or military,
No. I'm against getting somebody from the police. Yun ang problema natin. Ikot tayo ng ikot sa police. Wala naman tayo nakukuha ang upright na officer. So I disagree with the president on that.
Yes,
he has a liking for the military or police. Ano nangyari kay Faeldon? Ano nangyari kay PCSO? Yung mga military men na ina-appoint niya, parang nagmamadali. Nagmamadaling yumaman.
He's been saying he likes appointing those with from the AFP or the police because disciplinado, no questions asked when he tells them to do something.
Since we're talking about executive positions, if I were the president, I'd look deeper into the executive positions today among mayors, governors. He was a former mayor, can you imagine? He experienced already the challenges of a local chief executive's responsibilities.
Mas gusto nyo doon na lang galing, sir?
Tingnan naman niya. Meron siguro mga mayor na magaling magmaneho dyan at magaling na nasubukan katulad niya na ginawa natin presidente. Gawin naman natin Bucor chief. Because importante ang experience, Importante yung record, track record. Importante yung kanyang record, walang manchang corruption. Dahil the problem in the Bucor now is corruption with a big C. From Senator De Lima and the investigations we did during her time, we heard, we saw, and we realized corruption is the #1 problem there.
But does it take just one leader? Does it take the leader of Bucor to do that? Or are you looking at a possible revamp, as we've seen in the Senate's investigation?
The
it
Senate's
appears
investigation.
na maraming role yung mga lower ranking
Okay
officials.
yung ongoing investigation that should guide all of us in crafting better laws to address the problem of corruption and a rotten criminal justice system. Dahil yun ang problema. Ang sistema is bound for abuse and deliberate misinterpretation. Yung GCTA is a good law. But look how they mishandled it. Starting from I'm sure, the errors of Senator Rojas and Secretary De Lima, who helped each other in creating the IRR, yung genuine intention of the law is not translated into action to benefit society and to benefit the country. Yung mga weak points doon pumasok ang corruption. Can you imagine releasing, or for that matter, the Senate is hearing today,
Yes.
yung hospitalization for sale. To get hospitalized, bayad ka ng 2 million, yung pala, sa loob ng hospital, you can use your cell phone. You can now conduct business inside the hospital in a very privileged manner, air-conditioned room and first-class food, siguro unlimited visitation from your associates in drug distribution.
Okay, I'll cut you there, sir, first dahil we need to take another short break. This is The Source on CNN Philippines. Please stay tuned. You're watching The Source on CNN Philippines. Our guest today, Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza. Let's move on to a different topic, the proposed 2020 national budget. Ano na po ba ang status ng deliberations dito?
We're moving fast. One thing I can say, Secretary, or rather Speaker Cayetano seems to be an expert railroad director. the train of discussions in the budget today are moving very, very fast. We may even finish this in 1 week.
In 1 week. So you're confident about its early passage?
No, I would like to request him through this program, be more deliberate, Mr. Speaker. Allow every detail of the budget to be discussed because we're passing laws which could affect the country's future, the economy. Yung reform...
Unahin na yun, right?
Hindi, yung tax reform law was handled very hastily. Dapat yan one by one yung mga amendment. Kasi it's a wholesale amendment law that address so many issues in one piece of legislation. So dapat yung mga amendment to Section 387, dapat inisa-isa yan. Hindi pwedeng wholesale, hindi pwedeng maraming topic sa isang batas.
Okay. There was a time, sir, when the proposed budget was withdrawn and then refiled soon after. Did you see any problem with that? I mean, doesn't it
I think you
raise
should
questions?
invite Congressman Villafuerte and Congressman Ungab on that issue.
Hindi ba suspicious para sa inyo yung action na
Very
yun?
suspicious. But I have not asked any question because we will even get deeper into the problem. Total, sabi ni...
But why do you say it's very suspicious?
Because you don't submit a document and then you withdraw. Immediately, you'll be suspected of something. What are you withdrawing? Why are you... Ayoko nung withdrawal eh.
Which is ano ang nakikita ninyong posibleng mangyari nga? Insertions,
Hindi na,
of course,
binalik
that's
na.
what people are...
After, siyempre, the suspicion is that insertions were made. Fortunately, siguro dahil na rin sa exposure and expose done on the withdrawal, that insertions would be done, baka yung kung meron mga intention to insert anything, hindi na ginawa. So pareho naman yung dinidiscuss namin ngayon. Ang sinasabi ko lang, there are many provisions in the budget. See, look, these are 4 books of figures and items that you have to read through. the documents were given to us 1 day before the plenary debate started. 1 day. Sabi ko, hindi naman ako Superman. One glance at the time, alam mo na yung page by page and the numbers put into the record.
Some
Kailangan
lawmakers,
bigyan
sir.
kami ng at least 1 week to study the budget so that we will have a more intelligent and more accurate appreciation of each and every item written.
Hindi naman kayo, sir, palagay nyo parang minamadali.
Minamadali. Kaya nga sabi ko,
Which would
siguro
risk
director,
you, no, to
director-
possibly overlook some items.
Of course, maraming ma-overlook dyan. Dahil if you have no material time and there's always a limitation, the presiding officer reminds everybody on the floor, oh, tama na, mahaba na. Bakit ganun ang treatment? Ako, I'm quite frustrated on that because when you're treating very important pieces of legislation like the budget, hindi dapat minamadali yan. Even if we take 1 month, 2 months deliberating on it, I don't see anything wrong with that as long as we have a budget before the end of the year. And we're only in
But you're
September.
confident it could happen naman before the end of the year if you're asking, for more
At the
time.
rate Speaker Cayetano is doing it, in the next 10 days, tapos na yan. Maybe even shorter. Pero hindi...
But you want to take your
hindi
time
yan,
at the
hindi,
same
para sa akin,
time.
hindi yan, that's not the measure of diligent work and efficient legislation. In the process, yung kasabihang, haste makes waste. Minamadali mo, baka ang daming mali dyan.
Okay. Now, some of your colleagues at the House of Representatives questioning some figures in the proposed budget. Gabriela, party list, saying there's a 1.79 billion peso discrepancy in, or ang tawag nila, hanging pork in some allocations there. Makabayan Bloc also questioning what they say is the biggest presidential pork in history, 1.7 trillion pesos for these special purpose funds. What do you say to that?
Well, that's their own interpretation. No? That's we have to listen to each and everybody's opinion. I respect the opinion of the Makabayan group, but I would not take whatever they say in a wholesale manner because sila mas madalas yung propaganda line rather than the reality. When you say 1-point-something trillion, alarming yan. Pag binusisi mo yan, paano no, sinama ninyo lahat ng mga figures dyan on the National Expenditure Program? We must give the President enough leeway to pursue his vision. Yan nga ang dapat na hinihingi ko sa national leadership. Define the vision and support this with a budget, and the Department of Budget should reflect this vision in pesos and centavos. Doon tayo mag-debate. Okay. Kasi everybody will have his own agenda and everybody will have his own opinion. Diyan nagkakaroon ng delay. Pero si Speaker Cayetano naman, ang hinihingi ko sa kanya, be more patient. Do not rush it. You'll leave a better imprint on the legislative body of the government if you allow a free debating and allow each and every member to bring out and point out possible defects in the budget or improvement that we can incorporate. Hindi yung parang sinabit na yan, aprobahan na nyo, tapos na trabaho natin. Kaya sabi ko, kung ganyan din lang attitude nyo, di aprobahan natin ngayong gabi. Let's approve it now. Why waste time? Why wait for another 10 days?
Unfortunately, sir, we've run out of time. Thank you very much, Buhay Party List Representative Lito Atienza. Thank you for joining us here on The Source. I'm Ina Andolong. You're watching CNN Philippines.